top challenges for cities involve some of the things that we already know about, like climate change, and we can also see things like demographic change, population change. So many cities in the world will have big populations of young people coming through, and that will create its own problems, its own issues, because young people will need different kinds of things. They'll need job opportunities, they'll need to have economic opportunity. As well as climate change and demographic change, there's digitalisation. So the new technologies that will come in and that we need to use to manage our cities in an appropriate way. But the things which I think are not addressed as well as they could be are about our supply chains and about the infrastructure that keeps us alive. So if you think about our critical infrastructures, we have water, energy, food. These are complex systems which are extend outside the control of cities, and it's the resilience of these which I think we need to focus on. If we look at things like food supply, the food supply is going to have to be very different in the future. If we want to decarbonise our food system, we'll have more people turning towards more vegetarian and plant-based diets, but also we need to look at new resources from the sea, like seaweed and like bivalve mussels and different kinds of aquaculture. And these will create new types of infrastructure that will be needed and new types of skills as well. There's a lot of good practice being shared around between different organisations who are involved in resilience. We've done some studies on what makes good projects, what makes good resilience projects. And the ones that we found are most effective are the ones which involve lots of different people, lots of different actors working across cities from different responsibilities, and which are multidisciplinary. So which brings in perspectives from social sciences, from physical sciences, from engineering, from policy. In addition, the ones which involve communities at a local scale and give more power and more decision making into local communities are also more effective. What we think we need is more evidence that really pulls together what good practice looks like, because there's lots of people doing lots of different types of projects, but we need to more systematically evaluate the projects and make sure that the money that we're investing is well spent. One thing that we're really interested in is how people at an individual level are resilient and how they react to stresses and strains. One thing that we do is that we've conducted a poll of all 140 different countries around the world and asked people how ready they are if there was a crisis, how resilient do they feel they are in their everyday lives. And one key question we asked was, do they have a plan? Do they have a plan that they and all their family know about if there was a crisis? An interesting result from that, which we'll be publishing later this year, an interesting result is that in many Asian countries, there are more than 50% of people that say yes to that question. They say yes, that they do have a plan, but that's not the same around the world. So Asia is clearly leading the way in terms of resilience in populations. What we're hoping is that once that data is released, that different governments around the world will be able to use it to help plan their responses better, their community resilience better, and be able to take their populations with them when they have uncertainty and when they have crises into the future.